So this is so the importance of epidemiology is we can categorize in two parts, which means clinical importance and also public health importance. As a whole, in clinical medicine, the importance of the epidemiology is so it is so the knowledge important to clinician is making diagnosis, treatment and so prognosis. So just we can categorize in two parts, which means just this one is the public health or importance of epidemiology in public health, which means epidemiology is the cornerstone of course, public health. So to the reason of this, we can categorize into parts. As public health, just importance in planning and evaluation, importance in the planning and evaluation of health service, even if used to the health service data collection or data is used in especially needs in assessment, of course, as known, and so evaluation of the public health intervention, may evaluation of the disease trend, the disease trend by the comparing rate over time. And so in the sense of this, just as we discussed all about the importance of epidemiology into categories, which means clinical and also public, there are several functions of the epidemiology. In epidemiology, may as function, just there are the term describe, so interpret, apply, and so the last one is evaluation, which means you must describe all the major function of the epidemiology. Just may you must describe the pattern of health in the disease with the population, even if then after just to interpret those difference in different categories, and then after you tend to apply your result to public health practice. Then after you must to evaluate the effect of health related intervention. So to the reason of this, you see the importance of epidemiology in public health, just to the in the sense of this, the importance in planning and evaluation of health service, of course, and so just as we discussed from the previous epidemiology is so the foundation or the sound of foundation public health policy. So to the reason of this, you see importance planning and so evaluation of health service used to assess the health service and all about. So here is all about the definition of the epidemiology. Just in epidemiology, there is determinants that one is it so such cause and the other factor, which means an analytical epidemiology approach. So here is so we can categorize in two parts, which means the clinical and the so epidemiological or public. The clinical and the so public or epidemiological ones, there is in clinical patient diagnosis, and so the public case or the epidemiologist ones is community diagnosis. This one is just if we see this case, just may when faced with the patient with GI disease, you see, may for example the clinician and the so epidemiologist have different responsibility, which means clinical and the so epidemiologists have different responsibility. Of course, also both are interested in establishing the correct diagnosis in clinician, usually focus on individual patient or focus on the treating and the caring for the individual. The epidemiologists focus on the exposure. So here is all about the evaluation of epidemiology from historical background, from some scholars, from the very beginning of the Hippocrates, the father of medicine, to the last of William de John. So here is all about the evaluation of the epidemiology. So after evaluation, so why epidemiology? That one is simply in other words, just what we discussed from the above, just all about the purpose of epidemiology. There are in the sense of this class, there are around 5 purpose or why we learn why epidemiology is important. So just one why epidemiology, which means why epidemiology is important. in this sense, is the purpose of epidemiology, or why epidemiology is important to identify the cause and the risk factor for the disease, and it determines especially of the disease in the community. And so may study the natural history and the progress of the disease, even evaluate the preventive, the therapeutic measurement, and so provide the foundation for the public health. This is so all about why epidemiology is important. And so the next one is all about the epidemiological trends. In epidemiology, there are three trends, which means agent, host, and so environment. That one is agent, just exposure once. So, may the epidemiological trend those are the early stage in the infectious disease. Of course, epidemiological we need to consider the disease stage general in terms of epidemiological trend. Just all the host, agent, and so environment model. Here is especially in epidemiology there are three parts, which means agents, host, and so environment. So here is one of the epidemiological trend. Very beginning of it is an element. Here is especially it is so the absence or the presence of the this process. And so the next one is the intersequence factors that influence in individual exposure susceptibility. That one is a matter of response. The matter of the response or causative agent, which may just simply as example age, race, sex, behavior, which means behavior means may smoking, drug abuse, or lifestyle, especially sexual practice, all about contraceptive, and so eating habits. This here is all about the host, and so the third one is environmental, which means the epidemiological trait here is especially environmental reference to all external factors surrounding the host. The main influence, especially here, is all about the epidemiological trait. Just may what be by itself cause, and so the importance of cause. Just why we do need to understand the cause. Just especially it is help in the preventing disease, diagnosis, and so appropriateness of the treatment. Here is why we need, or why do we need the understanding of the cause and the whole about it is just read it from the face-to-face class or from the reference books all about the epidemiological trend. And so the next one is disease history of the disease, and so disease prevention. Just natural history of disease, as you know that what mean by itself the disease, what mean by itself is healthy, especially who is healthy man, and so what is all about the disease. Just simply here is what is disease. May from some scholars or from some scholar definitions, the biological process that doctor used to explain, or somewhat is with. Here is the definition of the disease, and so the next one is just here is one of the next definition from the scholars. Just may here is all about